Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this tutorial I'll be demonstrating how to create these 3 mini fall themed cakes. I have a 6-inch cake board and applying some buttercream to stick my cakes on top. That is a 4-inch cake that I'm working with, and I'll have the recipe for the frosting and the cake linked in the description box below. Fill in with your frosting. This is just regular hybrid buttercream, so American buttercream with half butter and half shortening. And I've used 2 cakes in total, so cut in half and stacked to create 4 layers of cake. With the frosting, bring it up to the sides and then fill in the sides of the cake completely. This is just our crumb coat to trap in any crumbs, and I'm using my acrylic frosting scraper to scrape down the sides of the cake and make it all neat. Bring that lip of frosting to the center. Do this to 2 other cakes as well, and then pop them into the fridge to rest for at least 20 minutes. For the final layer of frosting, what you can do is add some chocolate ganache into your buttercream to create this brown color. Otherwise, you could just use brown food color instead. This is a thinner coat going around the whole cake now. I've also added in a lighter shade of brown, so just added in some white gel food color to lighten that up. Working my way all around the cake and just kneading it off again with my bench scraper. I have a link to where you can find that as well. And then with my spool spatula, I'm marking lines starting from the very bottom of the cake and working my way up to the very top. Because it's wood and you want it to look a bit more rustic and natural, I've created little kind of little imprints in the middle and at the top and at the bottom, just to make it look a bit more realistic. You can leave it with that lip of frosting raised, which looks really cool too, but I decided to bring mine to the center. I also felt there wasn't enough kind of color variation in the trunk, so I added a little bit more white and blended that through. Pop that into the fridge to rest. For our second cake, we have a piping tip number 356. It's like a star tip, and I'm kind of doing more or less the same technique here. So working at the very bottom of the cake and up to the top, and in between adding little sections, little shorter ones randomly to make it look a little bit more realistic. Bring that lip of frosting to the center as well. And then onto our very last cake. So this is completely coated again with that brown buttercream frosting. It's nice and neat. I'm taking aluminium foil that I have folded to be just a little bit taller than the cake. Scrunch it up and then carefully unwrap it, making sure not to break it if you can. And then I'm spraying some canola spray on top of it just to make sure that it doesn't stick to our frosting completely. Make sure the oiled side is facing the cake, wrap it around the cake, and then just give it a bit of a soft pressure to impress that design onto the frosting. Pop it into the freezer to set completely for at least half an hour, that way we can remove the aluminium foil without disturbing the buttercream. In the meantime, you can start decorating your other cakes. So I've got some white frosting in a piping bag, and it's got a little circle tip in there. And I'm creating 3 petals and 6 petals just here and there randomly on the cake. As you bring it down, meet it back in the center every time, and relieve the pressure that you're putting on the piping bag as you make your way back down to the center, just to make it skinnier in the very middle, and that way the petal is the thicker side. I have a piping tip and I've just cut off the edge to make it an inward pointing triangle. This is a makeshift leaf tip. I've got 2 tones of orange and fawn in there just to make it look a bit more realistic. And then popping these leaves all around those flowers. You could add 1 or 2 leaves. I think 2 would look best though. And then for the second style of flower, I've got a 101 piping tip. And I'm writing an S, but I'm overlapping it. So it kind of looks like a rosebud, but it's like a 2D rosebud. So it's a very, very easy technique, this one. Add in your leaves. And then for the very last cake, once we unwrap it, you can see that beautiful tree trunk looking effect there. Be very gentle as you take it off. Then once we unwrap it, you can pipe on your decoration. I also kind of took off that top layer as well. I just cut it away with my spatula. Okay, now we're decorating. So I have a small circle tip again with darker brown buttercream, and I'm not being careful here at all. You want them to be random, short, long, all twisted, and these will be like little, I guess, tree roots or little vines, and then just adding little leaves there for effect. And you're done. And that is how you create 3 mini fall themed cakes. So it's like a faux wood design using a spatula, using a piping tip. Basket weave piping tip would work beautifully with that as well. And the fun aluminium effect, which is my own personal favorite. You can dress these up however you like. I personally really like the vine with the autumn colored leaves. That works really nicely, or you could do the little flowers too. If you guys do decide to make these, please send me your photos. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Either by hashtagging on Instagram or even sending through in a private message. Thanks for being here with me today, and I'll catch you again next week for another cake decorating tutorial. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do so. We upload a new video every Tuesday. Bye for now.